trading cards, collecting sets, the tarot. Cards find their ways into video games in various forms throughout the years. While Yu-Gi-Oh! And Baten Kaitos were early trailblazers, deck builders, as they've come to be known, are enjoying a recent surge in popularity. First led perhaps by Slay the Spire, the current king of this particular niche is Balatro. But what of our favourite studio, the perennial dark horse we know as FromSoftware? Well, in 2002, they produced their own card battler. Lost Kingdoms was known as Rune in Japan and was the first RPG to release on the Gamecube. FromSoft like to do that, it seems. Get games out very early on new systems. It's not a card game in the traditional sense, as a young Blinge found out when I saw the game in a magazine and got it because I was expecting Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever since those days, Lost Kingdoms has a special place in my heart. There is nothing quite like it. Despite its flaws, I think it's something special, and I want you to see the game, dear viewer, if not play it for yourself. What sets this game apart is that it's an action RPG with cards. You play as Katia, the young princess of a soon-to-be lost kingdom, and fight in real time. Your cards attack for you, and you must avoid damage yourself. The reviews I've seen are often flawed, either comparing it to traditional card games or retrospective surface looks that insist on measuring everything against Dark Souls. Before we start, please comment on the video to help with engagement and subscribe. I'd be much obliged. My aim is to bring this forgotten gem into the light of day once more and share with you all what is the Lost Kingdoms experience. As for the story hook, let's just read it. The disappearance of a small forest was the first sign of the approaching evil. One morning, villagers awoke to find a solid wall of fog where their forest should have been. Some men, braver than others, ventured into the pitch-black mist. They were never heard from again. The next day, the lake disappeared into the swirling mists. It was not long before the impenetrable mist enshrouded the village itself in perpetual darkness. Where once there had been life, now there was nothing but an impenetrable mist that turned day into night. By ancient covenant, the rulers of the Five Kingdoms had banned all interaction between their nations. Now, the Five Kings abandoned their isolation and met to look for a solution. Sadly, none could offer a plan to defeat the fog. Terrifying rumours spread throughout the land. Some whispered tales of an ageless evil reawakened. Jogged out of our reverie by a running soldier though, this retainer announces the fog has arrived at Alenjeh Castle, where we lay our scene. Katia remembers her father's parting advice, to take the runestone and flee if anything happens. We've not heard word of our father since he left to meet with the other four kings. Castle in the Mist might ring a bell now, but we're literally the castle floating in the fog. A sense of magic pervades the very fabric of this game. Alenjeh Castle is ornate, with white marble, furnished in red and gold. Throughout the halls, we find these pillars with red orbs suspended seemingly by nothing. By what power? The soldiers, of course, won't be coming with us. This is a video game. They offer some basic lore. Of all Five Kingdoms, Bashi was the first to be lost. No contact for weeks. The Five Kingdoms don't interfere with each other, owing to an ancient pact. But our father the king claims it's time to unite in the face of a common threat. Lord Unther travels with him, which is some comfort to the princess. Like Papa told us, it's time to get the runestone. We're coming up to our first fight. What are the enemies going to be? Quickly, you have a few seconds to guess. The runestone has a great time spinning around before fixing itself to our long blocky locks, the ultimate in accessorizing. Did you guess the monster? It's skeletons, of course. A card floats down from nowhere and with a rousing Ideo. It's go time. We get a brief tutorial via text and the familiar rectangle UI. The Skelly gets a taste of 3 different cards. Don't worry, I'll explain how it all works soon. An old woman with that drip shows up, drops some casual line about wishing we were a masculine prince, and seems to know all about the cards. Bear in mind, no one else has mentioned cards, and the princess didn't seem to have a deck. The first card floated down from the ceiling. I guess they were all in Pandora's chest that we just opened. Fantastic cards, and how to use them. The first real level is a field trip with the old crone, Gerd. She wants to take us out and be our tutorial, so I'll be yours. The monsters can be killed, and so can you. Lost Kingdoms is still an action game at heart, and you must keep Katia safe. Your deck is composed of 3 types of card. First up, weapon cards. Not weapons per se, but you wield the card as one. A great option in your starter deck is the Lizard Man. Katia swings her arm and superimposed on her the Lizard Man himself with his scimitar slash. Katia? You get a couple of attacks out of these cards until they're burned out. The flaming line shows how depleted they are. Simple and deadly for the most part, it's always a good idea to bring weapon cards. The summon cards function more like summons in a JRPG, a big one-shot attack, high MP cost. They have long animations and entirely replace Katia, making her invincible for the duration of their attack. We use a lycanthrope to finish off the man-trap here. Their drawbacks are the slow speed and how vulnerable you are when the attack is finished. Some summons, like the fairy, serve as healers. Independents are what you Souls babies would call summons. Once you throw them out, they wander independently. Think Spirit Ash in Elden Ring. Very useful. As in all games, just having something to draw aggro away from the player is invaluable. You can delay your card throw and steer it in the air. See the card spinning? While Katia's in her casting state like this, she's fully invincible, so throwing a delayed card is a good way to avoid damage. You can also spawn your monster in behind the enemy, giving them an advantage. Enemy monsters display their element and a health bar. Our monsters do not, so look out for that if you're trying to understand what's going on. MP crystals. I've spammed cards too much and run out of MP. Black and white means I no longer have the necessary gems to cast them. If I want to use cards now, I'll lose health. The way to get crystals is beat them out of enemies or scenery. Your deck is shuffled at the beginning of each stage. You can discard cards during a battle if you don't want them in your hand, until you run out of cards, but they'll be back in the next battle. That is, discarded cards come back, depleted or used cards don't come back. For the sake of demonstration, I decimate the boss with Little Shop of Horrors, then discard my whole deck. Now we're in a pickle. One goblin is left, and he holds all the cards because we've got none left. What can we do? Nothing. As brutal as it sounds, that's it. You use too many cards in a stage, and you're done. You have to either die or abort mission. Strange choice of words, I know. This isn't Armored Core. Fortunately, you keep all the items you've picked up, and any experience points your cards have gained. I'm not sure why so many people and journalists complain about this fact. They have to replay an area, having lost nothing. It's more lenient than bloody Dark Souls. Maybe it's a psychological thing with the random encounters. Our little tutorial is over, so let's go through this area for realsies. Gerd, the old lady, figured this was a fine place for the fearless young princess to learn the ropes of the cards. She tells us only runestone bearers can wield the cards. That means 5 people in the whole continent. Crucial to finishing early levels is picking up cards along the way. Chests containing cards are everywhere. We find a hobgoblin at the start. We can check our entire collection of cards anytime from the menu. Each card has 4 pages of info. Card and attack details. A description of its utility. This one informs us the hobgoblin has lethal farts. Disgusting! You get bitch slapped for that. Here, I spy the Mandragora acting as a living landmine and detonate it safely from a distance with my Raven weapon card. We can find NPCs scattered throughout the game like these soldiers by a heart-shaped box, pond. Some scenery is destructible. This wagon goes translucent, showing us a card beneath. 3 whole Lizardman swipes to break it. In fact, the Lizardman weapon card is so useful that speedrunners used to start the game with a deck of nothing but. Relatively abundant are these deck points, not checkpoints. They heal you and allow you to temporarily boost your deck with whatever cards you've just picked up on the same level. If you pick up none, you can't add any more. We've added a bloody army of gobbos to our deck at this point. As a fire type, they're good against the man-trap plants. Oh yeah, there's an element system too. Around the MP gauge, water beats fire, beats wood, beats earth, beats water. Follow it clockwise for a handy reference, on screen at all times. We open the Sangolem boss fight by being knocked down. We use one of the best weapon cards, the Dragon Knight, to wipe out 2 of his goblins with one swipe. The Mummy card curses him, causing him to de-aggro for a bit. He hurts himself on some boxes, gets hurt by a bird, and our plant finishes him off. Ending each level is the results screen, a combination of how many enemies you kill, how many cards you use to do it, and damage taken in the level. A respectable 5 stars. That's the maximum. I know a lot of people feel some kind of way when it comes to being given a grade at the end of a level. I personally find anything less than 5 infuriating, and no, I don't want to talk about Bayonetta. With a 5 out of 5 rating, you get to choose 3 out of 6 in the card lottery at the end of the level. What did we get? A Mandragora, a biological weapon, another fucking goblin, and look, there's the boss card. We didn't get it. By the way, you get 1 chance. You can't replay levels, and I don't want to load save to repeat the level again and again just for a chance at a boss card. We've got hobgoblins, we don't need mind goblins as well. With our card crash course completed, Gerd invites us to her little shop of oddities. One thing I don't understand is, if only runestone bearers can use the cards, and it's been so many centuries since they were used that the kingdom doesn't know what the runestone is, or how it works, then why does Gerd have a shop where she sells cards? You never find any money. You earn gold by selling cards to Gerd, and with the amount we'll pick up, we'll always be able to sell duplicates. So why does she give us gold? It's basically just Gerd points. Gerd credit. Gerd coin. That's all we can do for now. Let's hit the road. The first stop on our journey is the town of Blessoon. Katia hopes she'll find news of the king here. This is the FromSoft locale we've been waiting for, eh? A classic ruined village. We're attacked by a plague rat, and I tried to be smart by hitting it with a raven and breaking the barrels around this chest. But we didn't get all of them, so now I can't open it. Lizardman, as an enemy, not a card. We know not to mess around when it comes to them. Lizardman meet Birdman. Oh, come on, give me another battle. This is classic random encounters. The one time you do want to fight, nothing pulls up. If the fog has only just reached the kingdom, then Blessoon was destroyed mere days or weeks ago, but this destruction looks total. A soldier tells us what direction the king is headed in. We rotate one of the 4 capstans needed to leave the town. 2 more plague rats attack, and rats are filthy enough, but these ones seem to carry whole sacks of pestilence with them. I summon, and they get skewered. Finally, another battle near the chest so I can break the barrel. Also I can get another mummy. The blue fairy is an early, perhaps the earliest example of the From trope, of a small creature you need to chase to get stuff. They're proto-crystal lizards. They can restore NP, health, or return one of your depleted cards to use again. May I come in? The game will tell you when you can interact with things, like this well, which is handy. 4th capstan. We found some instructions for how to drain the fountain, so we head back to the soldiers and turn the wheel. It's a good time to point out, your movement should be relatively efficient when you walk around a level. Spend too long retracing your steps, and you might have too many battles and run out of cards. Some people really don't like that, but if you repeat a level, you will have picked up the items already, so you don't need to check every corner again, meaning you'll naturally take a more direct path to the end and have enough cards when you get there. We trade hits with these rats, dropping Pineapple Boy right between them. He screams both to death. We iframe this lizard man's slash by spawning a skeleton. Don't mess with a FromSoft lizard man though, he proves too much for my skeleton. Man, you could easily make a mod of DS1 and turn it into this game, right? Come on FromSoft, where's my Lost Kingdoms 3? Where is it? We've cleared the main town, found some cards, and had a few battles, and we're left with 25 out of the full deck of 30 cards. It's actually pretty hard to completely deplete your stock. On the outskirts of town, we meet this, scholar.
Oh yeah?
Alexander is studying red fairies, the collectibles of this game, and wants us to bring them to him. We go to grab another and trigger a battle. Before my skeleton takes out these rats, we take out the barrels, opening a whole nother area. A blue fairy gets trapped and restores our lizard man card for us. You can squint at the card and see what you've got back. Hellravens attack. They're dangerous. I thought I'd have to kill them myself with weapons, but my Skelly and Gobbo kill it with the unholy combo. Sword slash into noxious gases. What a way to go. Somehow the bed is the only part of this house that survived. It hides another fairy. Soon enough, we return to the deck point, and just beyond, the fire golem boss. The lycanthrope may be weak against fire, but it still packs a decent punch. Two overhead swings from my Dragon Knight weapon card, and the boss is almost done. I then fuck about trying to decide who gets the EXP for the kill. I pick the Maelstrom trap card for some reason. Five stars, get in. We win some useless plague rat, and the boss card. As well as pages describing the card's stats and function, there's 2 pages dedicated to monster lore, as well as how they behave as enemies on the field. Before we move on, we take up Alexander on his offer and visit him at home.
Oh yeah?
For 5 red fairies, he gives us a fire gargoyle. Anytime you hit another milestone, he gives you a rare card as a reward. The last area wasn't FromSoft enough. Give me more. A cemetery, that's more like it. The only way to get more frommy than this is to put a poison swamp in it. Actually, you know what's not frommy about this graveyard? It is a purpose-built, real graveyard. In Kingsfield, the bone orchards are in caves, in random hallways, all over the place. In Dark Souls it's chaotic, on the side of a hill, like they had more dead than they knew what to do with. In Bloodborne even more so, as gravestones take over the street. This one is somewhat normal. How does this red fairy know that we're the princess? I skewer these skellies, then line them up for the water hopper finish. Lick 'em up. A soldier nearby tells us the king and his best sword are just ahead. We find a stone here that speaks of a great Alenjehian king of old, Griffith the Golden, Griffith the Wise. Now, the double D at the end is Welsh spelling. You may remember a certain wolfman named Blythe, so it's Griffith. It would be pronounced Griffith, so get your FromSoft Loves Berserk memes out now. The skeleton enemies mark an early difficulty increase. They can dodge, and their swipes cover a decent area. Taking several enemies out with a big summon attack always feels good. That green level was called the Plains of Rowahl. They were apparently named after the second great king, Rowahl the Green. He used sand creatures, golems, to help him till the war-ravaged earth back to life. Third king, Ermwal the Whyt, dedicating his life to curing his queen's sickness, all in vain. King Beria, last seen heading into a black mist, never at peace, the cursed king. The tomb explodes and a wraith is revealed. Is that the cursed king? Poise just isn't a thing here, it seems. The ghouls have inflicted slow on me, and just like that, we're down to half health. I'm not taking chances, it's time to ferry up. This is a long battle arena. I make it an indie monsters battle. Oh my god, it's so annoying not being able to call the monsters I spawn in summons. To me, they are summons. I summoned them. But in Lost Kingdoms terminology, they're called independents. King Dane the Red, the warlike king. This description has two different spellings of Dane. The red fairies serve to give lore, idle chatter, or this one gives tips for more advanced play. It tells us about iframes. After my Birdman summon, I'm stuck in the mud, and unable to get back out before Mr. Bones here slashes me. Well, this is embarrassing. Right, what card do we have in here? Oh, it's just a fairy, with a geography lecture. Ooh, she said our own kingdom has now succumbed to the fog also. It's Lord Unther, but he's not going to fight with me. Ideo. Holding L while throwing a card will perform a capture throw. It's a nice way to use up a mostly depleted card. Get me another skeleton. Unther. Does he have that fashion souls? We need to make an Unther drip build. Dual wield lances, white cape, grey ponytail, check. I am in the company of kings. I could ask for no more. Man, what a G. I hope you were paying attention when I toured the 4 kings. 4 kings.
Oh my god, yet again! Miyazaki did it again! The 4 kings! How does he do it?
Yes, the kings and their colours. You have to activate these gravestones in the order you met the kings. Otherwise you fight a battle and the gate won't open. What was the order? I imagine a lot of game journos didn't read them or forgot, and have to backtrack over the whole stage in order to read them again, making them fight too many battles and lose too many cards to finish the level. But we're smart, so the order was glory, nature, purity, war. Gold, green, white, red. Beyond the gate, the Necromancer. A big difficulty spike. 2 adds, and homing skull attacks. I summon 3 skellies of my own, and let the bone ballet begin. I try the tree ant, picked up on this level. While this tree is in play, me and my boys get a defense buff. A swipe from my ghoul card finishes the bony bros, and it's down to the boss. The Wraith summon removes Katia from the field in the time it takes to miss, and the chewing skull chasing us just waits for her to reappear and land the hit. Very annoying. The boss also has a standing AoE, which I found quite difficult to get away from. I thought I could lead the skull into the pillar, but no, it just went through. It looks like you can destroy them with attacks though. Oh, another thing. Now we're low health, I want to point out, you actually move a bit slower when hurt. Unfair, huh? I bet it all with a lichen swipe. It's you or me, Necro buddy. And we still get a 5-star rating, even after that terrible boss fight. The Necromancer himself joins my deck. His attack varies. It's the AoE, or if you have a skeleton out, he does the homing skull. Time for a bit of faffing around with the deck. You'll find yourself doing this between levels, adding new cards, taking out those that are no longer useful, or perhaps never were. Returning to Gerd, as we often do, it's a good idea to pick her brains once in a while. Have a chat. This leads to extra levels. Giant bees have invaded Dahl-Nok Valley. The people have nowhere to turn. Gerd argues it's our duty as a princess to protect her people, so off we go. The map screen lets us know the elements of the enemies within. The valley is wood and fire, so we make a new deck. Fire to beat wood, water to beat fire. We have plenty of hell ravens and lizard men, so time to sell a few and earn some gold. This lets us buy a red lizard and a giant crab card. Taking a break from the main quest brings some colour back into the game. Some thick orc breaks the bridge. Does his axe have explosives in it? Well, the bridge is out. Let's take the long way. The aim of this level is to wipe out the giant bees. Each functions as a mini-boss. Having my gobos fart that wasp out of the air, it's like using bug spray. B2. Bomber. Oh shit, my ghoul one-shots it. Swatted. And again. I do it a third time, but I've used up my ghoul card. Grab this blue fairy, as it happens to fly my way, and it's down into the valley.
I wouldn't want no cockatrices chasing me, no sir. Why, they'll gobble a person right up, they will.
We chase this blue fairy all the way upriver, and I can't bloody catch it. I swear the game gives you too many mummies at the beginning, too. What is that orc doing? Slapping its ass at me? You were doing too much with the asses back in Lost Kingdoms, I swear. Man, what a thrill. We've grabbed a lot of cards this level, so we pack our deck out in the field. Back up to 30 cards. What's this big egg? Oh, it broke. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. We disturb the next bee, and can't aggro the other one while in the battle screen, it seems. It's hard to see what the orc card actually does. I'm sure nothing bad will continue to not happen if we break the other egg too. The chest is behind a tree, but we can't break it. It's petrified. I try my fire golem on this bee. It surrounds me with a deadly flame. One of the few instances where running up a hill actually affects Katia's walk speed. Breaking third egg explodes the boulder. The cockatrices are mad. I like this optional battle. After killing one with my lichen, I hit the survivor with an attack weak enough to leave it with 1 HP. Ready to be caught with a capture throw. We got ourselves a stony bird. All that remains is to open the now accessible chests, get mugged by man-traps, try out the cockatrice, which turns out to be lethal. Oh look, another one. And now for the final bee. Of course, we don't draw the boss card. No bee for us. Returning to Gerd opens the next side quest, but we'll save that for later. One function of her shop is to transform cards. With enough experience, you can choose to evolve them like Pokemans. The Man-Trap can transform into the Caterpoker, a much more powerful independent. The Lichen into a Chimera. Another decent upgrade. It's also a fire type. I like how Katia bows to her new companion. It's a bit Shin Megami Tensei, this. The occult nature of the process. Alexander gives us the Banshee card, now we've brought 10 red fairies to him. I didn't realise at the time just how important this card would go on to be. Shunning the overland route in favour of more discreet travel, the princess delves into the Shayl Passage, aiming to emerge at Grayl Castle, where her father has gone. No adventure is complete without a sewer section. We need to make a boss appear to loot a key from it. We do that by breaking these tanks, one by one. A Flayer spawn comes out of each, only to be put down. We trudge through the sludge and run along the sides, breaking tanks as we go. The Banshee proves quite deadly. Really deadly. And we summon our giant allied crab.
So here's this giant enemy crab.
Caterpoker makes its debut, wipes out the enemy, and barrel rolls in celebration. In case the player has been to the boss arena already, the game points out, yes, here, go here now. We oblige. These Dragonoids and their whip attack are pretty good early game, so I capture one. The boss is the Mind Flayer, who immediately gets flayed himself. I throw out what's left of my Caterpoker to distract, while I take out the minions. I find myself paralysed though, so try to create distance before getting webby. We wax poetic and finish him with another flaying. Flaying the Flayer gives us a key. Oh god, caught here is where we don't want to be. Have to fight our way out. Does this place remind you of anywhere? What about when we slide down? Ah, I hit this switch earlier and it played a little cutscene. It's good to see on repeat visits, the game doesn't feel the need to show you again. That's definitely a pet peeve of mine. And if a game from 2002 knew we didn't want to watch the fucking "you just activated this switch for this thing" cinematic every time, why do I still see it in today's games? There's ample time to run through these gates on timers. That's the passage done. 5 stars. Did we get the Mind Flayer? Did we fuck? Before we head to the castle, some quick cardery. We transform Carbuncle into this. The Juggernaut. Yo. The princess comes from a luxurious castle, its marble walls adorned with intricate furnishings. Not so in the castle Grayl. Its austere decorations, which boast only statues of its warriors, speak to the proud martial tradition of a warlike nation. A theme which is reinforced by the music, a somber marching tune, punctuated by the snare of the parade ground. The melancholy of the tune reinforces a dreaded reality. The fate of all nations eventually is to fall. Grayl has at last tasted bitter defeat against inhuman odds. Corpses and defeated soldiers lie strewn about. Exhausted and injured, they can only rasp desperate pleas at us. Will-o-wisps must be attacked from range. Red lizard men are a powerful new threat. When looking for the soundtrack, I saw a comment by me 13 years ago. Never say that I'm not a real one. Statues block our way. Find the statue with a matching weapon to find a hidden switch. This way we can access a hidden bridge? Corridor? Hard to tell. For a Mind Flayer. The previous boss card we didn't get. Does it have an awesome attack? No, it's for card restoration. It can apparently restore up to 10 cards. But at 18 MP per use, we can't use it yet. The levels have continued to increase in difficulty. I remember really struggling here as a kid. The spearman hits hard and fast, so we risk chasing a blue fairy for a heal. It's better than being under half health and moving slower. She-Devil. Is that us? Dragon Knight's overhead swipe remains undefeated, and as a water type, it can immediately kill these fiery lizard men. Before the throne room, a knight recognizes us, and still has enough strength to call us pretty? Well, human nature is abiding. 3 chests and a deck point? This is a boss fountain. What awaits us in the throne room? The king and that outfit. Cards! The bitch got cards! It really is. It's time to... A rival battle. Some of the best moments in all gaming are rival battles, and now Lost Kingdoms is taking a stab at it. She has her own deck, her own repertoire of cards, weapons, independence, summons. The aim is to kill the card user herself, not her monsters, which will never stop coming. Her deck isn't all that different to ours, only a few cards will be new to us. The worst thing about card duels in this game is you have to watch the entire of the animations for summon cards. Also, get ready because these fights are an absolute mess. First blood goes to us. I placed a will-o-wisp trap directly next to her to act as a bomb. It killed her goblin too. I pull out the wizard card, which gives me and mine an attack buff as long as it's on the field. Goblin down, but he managed to fart me, so I'm poisoned now, meaning Katia will also flinch now and then, interrupting whatever you're trying to do. As the witch comes out of her summon animation, we're ready with a red lizard slash, beating enough crystals out of her to fill our MP back up. A slash exchange leaves us worse off. Hoping I have her cornered, I summon the Chimera. who targets her gobbo. Total waste. I attack too early with the whip. She's still invincible from the summon, but the second whip has enough active frames to punish her card throw. Sidestepping leaves her open to my ghoul slash, and now she's poisoned. I throw out Sand Golem to draw aggro, and my red bush drains her goblin to restore my life. My skeleton is immediately sniped by her archer tree, and I break her pineapple boy trap with a lizard slash. She's almost done, but
Here comes the Juggernaut!
time to run this girl down. Despite losing, she still chats mad shit, and reveals her name is Helena. The man isn't our father. Sorry, princess, your dad is in another castle. King Zelnan of Grayl bestows upon us the runestone of his kingdom, which unites with ours, upgrading our MP and mana. But it seems our papa made his escape from Grayl as it fell. The plot thickens. It seems the monsters are related to, or perhaps controlled, by this she-devil in black. A tip-off from Gerd takes us to the Gromtull Desert. Tales of sandworms terrorizing... well, I don't know really. I don't know if anyone lives here. Tales of treasure, hidden in the sands. The carbuncle enemy rolls straight for us. Scary, but not as scary as our chimera. Switches in the sand. We activate them without really knowing why. Wandering the sands leads us into battle after battle. Running out of cards is ever a concern. Here the sand crab eludes my independence. I have to hunt it down personally with a ghoul slash. Can my skeleton take out the carbuncle by himself? Yo, let's go! 1 slash, 2, 3, 4. Good effort, man. Get out of it. We've spotted worm sign. Fortunately, this one stays put, and we bring the battle to the worm. It's the boss of this area. I choose you, Catapoker. We throw the card behind the worm to give our buggy boy a fighting chance. And we wrecked that worm so much it slithered off, so onwards we trudge. Really, by now I have more mummy cards than I know what to do with. We've got these Scythe Beast cards now, but they're a bit shit. The projectiles look like Wind Cutter, but they don't do much damage, and are pretty slow. I keep noticing these big barrel cacti, but so far I've just walked past them. The desert seems awfully foggy. Usually a desert is bright, saturated colours, under the unforgiving sun. I suppose in Arguil we're seeing the effect of the fog, even in the desert. Werewolf meet mummy. I wanted to hit the cactus too, as my suspicion had been aroused, and lo, a switch. Only one more left to find. Have you heard of the the sandworms? Yes, we're acquainted. The Scythe Beasts are so much cooler as enemies than cards. Why did they have to be weapon cards? They'd have made great independents. Crisscrossing the desert once again, we come back to the other cactus and burst it open for the switch underneath. While we're here, we take on the worm once again. I frame through its sand attack with a card throw, whip and plant it into submission. Yeah, I'm lost now. Aha! 4 poles lowered and the cave opened to reveal the great treasure. A carbuncle? We already have the evolved form, the Juggernaut. 2 carbuncles? What the fuck is this? The crystal rose in the middle is a cool prize, I suppose, but we're gonna find those in abundance in the mid-game anyway. One man's treasure is our trash, apparently. Let's take it out on this and beat our worm. Off. As in, off it goes. All that's left to do is hunt it down for the final battle, once we realise where it's gone. I think I got lucky and found it the first direction I headed. I used the rose because I drew it, but as a water type, it won't be good on the old worm. Carbuncle wears it down, but he finally hits us with the sand cloud. What card do I want to get the kill? Soften it a bit with Lizardman? Then I think I wanted to use Necromancer and literally hit the wrong button. Whatever, 5 stars. And of course, we don't get the worm. I guess we weren't the early bird. Our Catapoker has earned enough XP that we can spend some to duplicate the card. We sell cards so we can buy the bloody sandworm. A lot of good it will do us. Also this green dog. Love green dog. Green dog good. So we return to questing for our father. We also need to grab the rune stones before the woman in black steals them. Both concerns lead us to the kingdom of Kendari. To reach Kendari, we must cross the Great Bridge of Sarvan. Off we toddle. It's a very ornate bridge, but for the Chimera, it's a bridge too far. We tried to drive across the bridge with the Juggernaut, baby, but it doesn't do enough damage. The Chimera has so many iframes, and our rolling attack bulldozer bike has a limited fuel tank. God, how fast is that lunge? It has barely any startup. We waste a card trying to capture it. It's not low enough health. Then discard until we find something I'm happy with spending for another capture throw. Oh no. This butterfly on the field means we're slowed down for the duration. We're easy pickings for the Chimera now. Can Sandworm save us? Nope. Our skeleton is slowed too, but every crystal rose has its thorns. We block the bug so my Catapoker can get a hit in and chase it down ourselves. This linear stage is broken up by a switch puzzle in the middle. There are 4 mini bridges, each represented by a different colour. The switches on each side can be turned left or right, and each switch and direction lower or raise a different mini bridge. It's pretty confusing, yeah. I did actually have to use a brain cell, and normally I don't like doing that. I don't have many left. It also costs MP to flip directions. I guess that's to punish brute forcing. Simply opening the way to the switch that lowers the stairs leads to progress. Are you paying attention? Anyway, this part is easy. These stairs lead forwards, but if you want to open the chest up above, you really need to master the switches puzzle. Eventually we get there, and the reward is a mind flayer. For doing that, to our own brain. Definitely not worth the effort. The next battle is brutal. Chimera, narrow bridge, and we spawn in a siren's song, hitting us immediately. The green eye floats around and snipes at us too. This enemy combination is seriously dangerous. We're down to our last legs. Maybe this blue fairy can heal? Nope, gives the card. 2 Chimerae! We run, spending a cockatrice to get out. The rock below tempts us with a red fairy, but we still need to fight down here. I should have discarded until pulling a healing card. I was arrogant. Dragon Knight takes both down, and my confidence rises even more. Blue fairy heal coming in clutch. We're right at the end of the level. I reckon we can just sneak out. Oof. You have failed. That's a strange way to put it. Not game over, not Katia has fallen, not the fog has covered the kingdoms and now they are lost forever. Nope, just you fail. Now, what happens in the fail state? All the EXP we keep, all the chests we opened and new cards we got, we keep. All that remains is to replay the level and rush straight to the end. This seemed to get a lot of backlash from YouTuber and journalist alike, the fact that you would have to replay a level. I don't understand why. You'll be exploring a lot less, meaning you'll spend fewer cards, meaning you won't need to replenish your deck with cards found in the level. I guess replaying sections rubs people the wrong way, but apparently replaying areas is fine now, since the advent of Souls. I don't know. I'm an old school gamer. I was raised on shit like Sonic the Hedgehog. Replaying things is just part of life. Siren and Chimera? What is this? Greek Day? Cockatrice is a great AoE option. We scratch the Chimera, but wreck the Evil Eye. A little bloodied and bruised, we've finally crossed the bridge with, oh no, a 3-star rating. Our perfect 5-star streak is now broken. We can't repeat levels, not until you beat the final boss, so for now, those 3 stars will sit like a stain over the playthrough. We've arrived in Kendari. While we're here, let's get some herbs for old Gerd. She sent us on an errand. We are so Rohbach. As we enter the snowy fields of Rohbach, I realise that From brought all the variation into the side levels. The main path takes us through the main castles and blighted lands, but the side quests see us visiting Valley and Dale, Desert and Tundra. As Rohbach brings water and earth monsters to bear, we try to counter with a specifically made deck for the first time, using mostly earth and wood. Our new deck, Wood Mud. Stop fucking about, Mantra Ray. Sit still. The herbs we need are found on these large pine trees which are protected by Bigfoot. It's squatching time. Damn, that double hammer fist leap? Good thing I was in my card throw iframes. Squatch is bamboozled by my submerged crabby thing, and I whip it good. Pineapple Boy grenade? Then run over by a juggernaut. Man, he got brutalized. There's a point near the end of Castlevania Lords of Shadow where you can mistime a jump and fall into a pit. You're immediately set upon by goblins battering you. That's been a running joke between me and my mates. Punishment goblins. You fell down. Bang, 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 bang. Anyway, this kind of happens here. One-way ledge, and my only reward is fucking useless goblin cards. My punishment. Goblins. We've no choice but to follow this glacier and waste MP to remove the ice blockage, which also happens to be a golem. You start the battle on low MP, and in a very tight arena. Haters gonna hate. We just keep rolling. Upon returning, another reward is an elephant? Wait, that's not a fantastic creature. It's just an elephant. Those exist. Whatever next? I got a card. It's just a dog. Maybe they meant to call it a mammoth. I would have called it a mammoth. Here's a wild one. It certainly looks more prehistoric. Hang on, why is Katia as tall as this elephant? Maybe that's the fantasy element. This mammoth is anything but. I summon a gobbo, turn to finish off the land ray, turn back, and the gobbo is already dead. It's Tusk versus Tusk. Rohbach is another multi-boss level. The second Sasquatch fight is a mess. One enemy is underground, so I spawn 2 more, subterranean crustacean, and a shark. The Squatch doesn't know what to do. Hang on, this red fairy just name-dropped the true antagonist. Outside of a cutscene or pivotal dialogue, a random fairy in side level. Yep, it's the Enchanter. Squatch number 3. I get a bit smothered, so I chuck out Sand Golem, the first boss. He doesn't attack, he's a tank. He does nothing but draw aggro and have high HP. I line up the werewolf summon, but the land shark hits the boss, putting him into iframes, so the werewolf misses. Land shark makes amends, however, by chewing the boss out, leaving me to get the final blow with my Dragon Knight's beefy overhead. Level clear. Oh yeah! Wait, 3 stars? Fuck this game. Blinge Nation in shambles. Back to the main quest. We need to warn the Kingdom of Kendari about the imminent threat, Black Fog, and Helena coming to steal their runestone. Land of wealth and beauty indeed. This jewel-encrusted oaf is the king. The Kendarians are Black Fog deniers. Why let a world-ending problem get in the way of some good hedonism? Frustrated, Katia is making her way out when a guard stops her. Look at this run. You can tell these soldiers are not fit for purpose. We learn the runestone has already been stolen, but the king won't admit it. We head to the Yprek Mines to find this thief and the fate of the Kendarian royal guard. The king of Kendari must be pretty rich. I bet he has 9-course meals every night. You know, Red Fairy buddy, I think you're onto something there. It's nice how most caves in video games have a flat floor, and are usually all level. I'm not sure that's the case in reality, but I digress. Let's stone this catapoker. Damn, one shot. Also, I love how detailed they got with the death animations. Actually, that's one of the worst things about Souls-likes. I want a long, satisfying death animation for bosses, especially the hard ones. I want to see them writhe, not just disappear immediately. Anyway, I'm not sure what the deal is with this crystal. There's a card under it, but I can't seem to break it, so I throw cards away until I can summon something big. Golden Goose? Crazy legs. Runs around, but ultimately useless. Great find. I have no idea how this one random Kendari soldier recognizes Katia. I thought the kingdoms didn't have much contact with each other. He escorts us by shuffling all about, scared. From here there are only scripted encounters, and you can skip them all. The encounters only trigger once the knight freezes in fear. I've found that if you run ahead of him, you get to explore the level uninterrupted. I feel bad for the one about to get catapoked, so Tiger Mage to the rescue. I realised this playthrough how good of a card the Tiger Mage is. It fires balls of fire from a distance and has a decent rate of fire. The knight brags for having protected Katia and shuffles forward again. We run forward to grab all the cards and red fairies first. We meet our first Catoblipus enemy here. You don't want to be near the business end of that thing. The head, in this case. It does decent damage and can petrify you. We get trapped and use Fire Golem to wreath us in flame. The catapoker punishes my pussyfooting around with paralysis though. We end the battle with a pro move. Summon Fairy to heal when the enemies are dead, but the end screen hasn't appeared yet. Then restore MP with the remaining crystal afterwards. See what I mean about the Catoblipus? Tiger Mage, fire at him. Oh my god, it low profiles the fireball. I'm not in the mood for these two jokers, so it's run in and nuke with Necromancer. That's the card spent, but a lucky blue fairy gives it back to me immediately, so I use it again. We've reached the Kendarians and their assailant, the Puppet Master. We open by crushing one bug with Stonehead. The boss's string attack is nasty and has a deceptively long range. Go, Golden Goose! Go and do nothing. We play Tiger Mage, who finishes the catapoker and gets to work spamming the boss with fireballs. I play my own poker and check on the goose. Yep, still there. The boss has been paralysed by my dudes. They did a great job, so I throw a Stonehead trap directly at the boss's feet for a satisfying finish. No survivors. This Puppet Master, it seems, was the Runestone Thief. We find it in a chest. Added to our collection, it's our third. 4 stars. Ugh. Of course, we didn't win the boss, but 2 Katoblipai aren't bad. It must be said though, just like boss weapons in Soully Boys, there's no guarantee that boss cards are any good. 1 more runestone. I suppose we'll be keeping this to ourselves, rather than giving it back to Kendari. They can't be trusted with it, obviously. We can keep it safe in a museum in our own kingdom. Easily distracted is the young princess. It's time to be an errand girl for Gerd again. It seems the village of Lumsted has a scholar, heaven forbid, called Morgwort. Yo, he needs to be a boss. Why isn't he a boss fight? So this guy tried to fight the Black Fog with White Fog, like it's Ikaruga Fog Combat Edition. Gerd has concocted a remedy from the herbs we picked earlier. First up, the Hand of Pain. Crazy animations and a long reach. And look, a FromSoft classic. A hostile tree enemy with a face. The Reaper from Kingsfield makes its comeback here. No ring of clarity from this one though. Green Dog can chomp at it. Tree is known as a treant, and serves only to buff the defense of all other monsters. Quite annoying when you're trying to make your cards last as long as possible. Damn, we're in trouble. Better use the goose. I spawned Catoblipus, my favourite turret. Man, he slowly but surely wrecks the treant, and I can rely on him to blast the hand away too. Juggernaut clears the boxes for us, and then we ride down the other hand. I have a mini pro play here. Unsummon the Juggernaut as soon as its work is done, so the card doesn't get depleted any further. The houses in Lumsted are a bit suspect to me. They aren't medieval looking houses, they're so uniform, almost mass produced. Like Kendari's had an industrial revolution. We encounter one of the worst enemies. The running bird is too fast for Kato and my hound. The Juggernaut runs out of petrol. I miss both swipes with a Dragon Knight and run out of MP. Lose health to miss once with Green Lizard and finally hit it on the second try. We purify a well with Gerd's herbs. This is how we beat the White Fog. And oh lord, 2 birds? Stone Trap misses and we're out of MP again. I should just run away, but I'm pissed. We cornered one. Woof woof. Oh my god, I shouldn't show this, it's embarrassing. I've poisoned it. Down it goes, and my Green Lizard didn't get any EXP for the poison kill. The nightmare that is the running bird speeds up all enemies too. Eat that. Banshee shot to the beak. We find a kitty trap card in the dog kennel. Really, who named this thing a kitty trap? Come on. We find ourselves lost in the graveyard.
Lost?
Why did my Tiger Mage stop attacking? I noticed for the first time that Tiger Mage is actually a tiger and a mage riding it, just flopping about on top. Blonde effeminate figure casting spells, piggybacking on a strong companion. What did old Morgwort do to these wells? What's with this never-ending chemical reaction? The stone head trap doesn't get triggered by the Treant, just wastes away. Tiger Mage does nothing. Kitty trap? It exploded, but was unimpressive. Finally, my demon dog barks up the right tree. Although, this thing's more bark than tree. Don't worry, I make my own eyes roll as well. The final well. We put some dogs down, and Lumsted is purified. Gerd gives us the Basilisk, a blue Lizardman card. A 5-star performance all round. With that, it's back on the trail. Let's find our old man. With Bashe, Alenjeh and Grayl fallen, and Kendari's runestone in our possession, there's only one kingdom our father the king could have gone to. The kingdom of Whyt. Travelling to Whyt means crossing the ancient battlefield of Bernden. That Dragon Knight sword we've been using the whole time, We finally meet a dragon knight in the flesh. How intimidating they look. But he's no match for my bovine Medusa monster. These corpses are fresh, however, not ancient. They bear the Alenjehian symbol. They are the king's own retainers. We're finally catching up with him. Some battleground this is. Who fought here with cliffs all around? Surely the winner would be whoever lines the top with archers. In the second field, we see ancient corpses still in their armour. These must be from the kingdom of Whyt, in whatever ancient battle was fought here. We approach what looks like dragon bones, only to hear the dread incantation of a lich. That's an undead dragon! I said the same thing when I played Dark Souls. The idea wasn't new to me. It's a mini-boss. Lich and dragon both, the beast and his death breath. Good thing I drew some good wood cards to counter the earth element. You have to kill the dragon first if you want its card. Killing the lich takes both out. That was easier than expected. Defeating the lich opens the next set of gates. Why there are gates on the battlefield is another mystery, but it would make a nasty trap to catch your enemy in these enclosed fields. The Dragon Knight's slash comes out quicker than you expect. My pro move against a duo is to use myself as bait so Kato Bro can get his shots out. After a few battles and a memorial to the Whytian Knights? White Knights? We approach the last gate, and to our shock, we find King Fearbane himself, Katia's father, engaging the enemy. That bee-boss just laughed after striking him down. 2 archers. In her rage, the princess summons her new dragon, and only hits one of them. We trade damage to kill the other with Cockatrice Breath, and take a decent chunk out of the boss. Catapoker, Road Roller, an overhead slash. The Beelzebub boss uses its deadly acid cloud attack, but it's too late. Our bug bro finishes the job. They've kind of taken the B part of Beelzebub literally here. God bless FromSoft. Anyway. That's odd. King Zelnan did entrust the runestone to us. I don't know who King Leod is. The Kendari guy? Fuck him. We didn't ask him for anything. So passes King Fearbane. For Katia, there's time to grieve. We tweak our deck, and notice we've used the Dragon Knight so much that the card is ready to transform to its highest evolution. The Chaos Knight is born. As a kid, I thought this card was one of the coolest. Onward then, to the castle of Whyt. We seek an audience with the young prince, but find his keep already overrun. Will this be a repeat of what happened at Castle Grayl? For the first time, we feel insignificant in these lofty halls. The woman in black, she's been here. Who puts a switch in a dormitory? This isn't a castle of order. This is chaos. Tiger Mage and Kitty Trap. Cat battle. Our blue lizard turns Tiger to stone, making it easier for us, and we can whip the trap from a safe distance. Save the prince. Oh god! I'm getting skewered here. Oh, did he bug out? The lance guy gets poked. It's the floppy tiger mages again. Mirror match time. I like this card, so seeing it at 1 HP, I decided to iframe with a capture throw. The fallen Whyt men give me a key, and a fairy confirms the Black Witch, Helena, has been here, wiping everyone out. With no MP, I lose half my health to summon the Jack-o'-lantern, which takes another half-life off me when it explodes. Terrible idea. I try to ghost the ghost armor, but I'm too close, and my lance hitbox goes straight through the ghost armor. If at first you don't succeed, run back to the deck point because you're down to 40 HP. I guess the dying soldiers locked themselves in with the big cats. The cards we draw are less effective against fire types, but we just brute force them, and I make a cat kebab. What the fuck are these? Mole monsters. Moley mans. Moley mans. The monsters guarding the throne room, ghost armors, and the Chaos Knight. The forces of chaos. Double Tiger Mage action. Your fingers find a switch. Odd choice of words. The throne sits empty, and instead of exploring, we ask the retainer. Unfortunately, this ends the level with the side rooms unexplored. He urges us not to tarry, and Katia listens to him. The prince has been secreted away to Grenfoel Church. Hopefully we can reach him before Helena does, but not before a skeleton upgrade. The last refuge of the young prince. Grenfoel Church. Vibes, man. We enter with a water-stacked deck to counter the fire monsters we're gonna find, like this great demon who laughs off my crab attack. My next hit leaves him submissive and capturable. The Nightmare Mare and another demon. The enemies are becoming less beast-like and more hellish. Something more sinister. In 4 corners of the church are 4 chests, but a golden goose has made its appearance. I think it's only here to troll the player. It runs away and suddenly leaves, stopping you from killing it or capturing. The great demons are one of a few enemies with lifesteal ability. Look how it heals itself by hitting my water skelly. I summon Hand of Pain to buff up water cards, allowing me and Skelly to deliver a deadly 1-2. But the jank has arrived. Hand of Pain still has an attack animation, despite not having an attack ability. It took me a while to realise that little flick the hand does actually does nothing. We've reached the sanctuary, that is, the part of the church where the altar is. I'm loath to progress here. I don't want to miss out on stuff again. What is this stained glass? Can you tell what the image portrays? I can't. We place the candles and descend partly to the sanctuary behind the sanctuary, but turn back to explore more. In battle with a nightmare, we smash the railings to reach a chest. You've found some old sheep music. Come then, cultured girl, high-born. Surely you've been instructed in the ways of music. How many of you have sat for an extended period of time listening to a church organ? That shit is wild. I was in a church one time and it sounded like someone's descent into madness. A coffin hidden behind the altar, and a hella chaotic battle. My cards have been sealed. The curse status is that skeleton doing yoga on my cards. That's so goofy. Finally, I get a great hit with my Ice Wraith summon. Waste a card trying to catch the golden eye thing, and spend another. Man, I should have thrown the Hydra, not a precious Kato, bro. Our prize is just a bloody lich. But the red fairies are always a nice bonus. Fairies are born to the slivers of the heart that break off when a human forgets what it is to love. Man, I was not expecting that. Hey, who's chopping onions in here, man? Where's the prince? Down in the basement, a lone chest and a treasure trove of lore. The church was doing research church, worship of the god of harmony. I'll try to summarize. Ancient evil being, defeated, his powers sealed in the 5 runestones. Peace, through isolated kingdoms. Did they not trade? The god of harmony took a human form? Theory that the god took the form of an old crone. Gerd? Really? That would explain why she knows so much. It's interesting, actually, knowing that some of this speculation by the church is wrong, and the last part says that only those of royal blood can control the runestones, which would make Helena some kind of royalty too. Hey, in the chest. We beat her to the runestone. And there she is, with the young prince in her power. Dracul? They really gave the vampire that name. Oh well, Dracula confirmed canon within Lost Kingdoms. This fight is brutal. 2 demons, and the vampire has a nasty ranged attack. They slap me about. My rose beam confuses an enemy demon, causing him to join my side briefly. I draw 2 Chaos Knights and use one to slaughter both demons. Tiger Mage is content to do nothing, but I keep her out because she reduces MP costs. Once the vampire is alone, everything is simpler and easier. Simply bait out his attack and punish. Don't go first, as he might trade or start teleporting. As he goes for my Hydra, I necro him, but it only hits once. I choose the slowest attack in my deck next, as I summon Zambi Dragon. I'm surprised it hit. Well, it was all for naught anyway. 4 star. 4 star. Before she left, Helena challenged us to single combat. Was that a mistake on her part? We hold 4 runestones, and I think she only has the 1. A fateful day then. Our feud will be settled at the Colosseum. Amphitheatre. It's called an amphitheatre, for fuck's sake. So, Arguil as a continent, like their blood sports, huh? Helena's outfit is so much cooler than ours, holy shit. And notice the way she comforts the prince. Strong start from our rival, a stone head waiting above, and she chases me down with the carbuncle. Despite being a weapon card, I only get 1 shot with the Sphinx, and I miss it. I summon Ice Golem, not knowing what it does. Nothing, at least in this fight. Helena then starts being annoying, spamming that stone baboon, making us wait every time. Oh man, I'm missing almost every attack. Now out of MP, we trade our life to spawn a Catapoker, who manages to knock some crystals out of her, but her carbuncle is stuck spinning on the spot and hurts me when I get close. Quick reminder that if a monster has a health bar, it's an enemy. My monsters don't have them. Helena's been poisoned, and the moment she flinches, lets me fire a Banshee shot. Finally, earning enough MP to bring out my new Skelly. Wizard out to buff attacks, and I actually hit Helena and her minion with Chimera. Not easy to do. I'm gonna count how many fucking times she summons that monkey. 8. It was 8 times. Juggernaut again. Let's run her down. Oh shit! She bitch slapped my bike! While I'm missing my dragon shot, Skelly Boy hacks her to pieces. Enough. Enough of this. With her dying words, Helena shares her story. She comes from the other side of the divide. 5 more kingdoms are over there. The Enchanter stole their runestones and conquered all. He sent Helena to do the same to Arguil. She'd planned to take our stones and challenge her master. She treated the boy well, at least. Four stars. I'll take it, honestly. I feel like we barely scraped through that duel. That got a bit heavy, didn't it? I think we need to step back and relax a bit. Off to Lake Bestriel then, known for its scenic views. However, it's been poisoned and the water runs murky. It's going to be wood and water, so we go fire and earth. Our new deck, hot dirty. The music is peak, the atmosphere is peak. We're standing on what looks like a peak. I always thought this level looked cool, but without the glow of a CRT to mask it, we're very obviously looking at a JPEG of the sky below. Doesn't look too bad though. We immediately find some kind of basin of purification, so let's hunt a stone of water treatment and filtration. I can't tell what's happening, I have to necro bomb. The Great Demon's lifesteal works for us too. We get tagged by a Fenrir and regain the health immediately. The vampire bush enemy saps our health every second it's on the field. Imagine if that happened in a Souls game. You took damage because an enemy is in the same room as you. Can you imagine the complaints, the butthurt comments? 2 vampire bushes. Have to prune them real quick. Seeker of the Path. Lose some MP before taking on the Hydra boss. Out of MP again, I tried to spawn Catobro facing the boss by curling the card round, but it doesn't work. He's still facing the wrong way, and the boss's garlic breath makes short work of him. We've had to trade a lot of health to keep using cards, so we summon Rebus to give a decent heal, and a couple of cards back. We avenge our tiger with a necro summon that brings the boss to its knees. Now it's a question of how are we going to take those last 2 hit points. But fight poison with poison. We play a nightmare card, administer the boss's own medicine, and the coup de grace. The coup de grace! We're not done, however. We need to keep using MP to activate bridges, leading us to the Purity Stone. You need to finish the battles on each island with as much MP as possible to pay the toll for the next bridge. Soon enough, we're back at the beginning, where we can use the Purifying Altar, finishing the level and the last of Gerd's side quests. I think the Japanese name for this game, Rune, isn't the best. I mean, there's not really much to do with runes. You're using cards. There are no runes in the sense that there are no Viking or Anglo-Saxon script type runes. Anyway, I digress. One plain Jane princess to rule them all. Them being the runestones. One princess to find them. One plain Jane to bring them to the temple and do something or other. We attempt to scale Mount Jarndunn, a very active volcano it seems, wielding our wet wood deck. These griffin enemies are nasty, but the stage hazards can hit both us and them. About to take a hit, I summon Fenrir for help. Its massive damage only affects earth types. Now that's a summon attack, like the Final Fantasy of yore. A heavy hitter or one-shot move. high MP cost, but always hits. Nastier still are the Ifrits. They dash about and launch homing fireballs with semi-regularity. You can't really dodge the fire and have to run straight away. It's worth using my rarer squid card to take one out, then Hand of Pain to power up my blue lizard slash. We have a Griffin, but as a card, it's only an Earth buff. Good thing Juggernaut is an Earth card. Let's go full Mad Max on him. What is that? I never knew if element buff cards like the Griffin also affect enemy attack. We make short work of this behemoth, though. Against a new skeleton variety, I make a mistake by playing the Hydra. 11 MP is too high a cost, especially when it only poisons enemies and doesn't hit them to create more crystals. Unwilling to spend my life, I can't even defend the Hydra, so end up withdrawing it. Fortunately, the Griffin is hit by eruptions, earning me some crystals so I can get back in the game. The Steel Skeleton doesn't go down easy. Fuck you, get lanced. Twice. I liked that Griffin Juggernaut combo so much I did it again, but this one was a massacre that left all parties dead. Except us. The stage offers 3 paths to the top, and a warning in bad English. Whoever translated this as part of Activision's team, I imagine, simply didn't have a good grasp of the language, which pisses me off, but I digress. Return by whence you came. The by is wrong. Whence means from where, not the path taken. Anyway, boss time. Red Dragon! And 2 fire hands. We drew Dragon Knights, ever dependable and strong against fire. We handle the hands, handily. Squid Game hits him real good, almost half his health. Oh dear, this is a beating. With a kiss from a rose, we put the dragon out of its misery. Atop the mountain is the temple we seek. We only get to see it from inside. More magical pillars. The monsters here are all neutral type, for the first time, so our elements don't matter. Return of the Gobbos. Oh man, it's a goblin lord, but being highborn didn't teach it any manners. The music in this place suggests things are in fact getting real. But it's not very difficult if they just throw single enemies at us. Wait, the red fairies are hidden down these side holes? That's pretty devious. Seeing a third skelly type reminds me of a Yahtzee Croshaw quote that's been stuck in my head for a decade, when he mentions the palette swaps in Symphony of the Night.
Now, how exactly do I do those 2 things? What, you need a fucking hand to hold, player? Piss off, I'm recolouring the skeletons again.
Again. Bro already repainted the skeletons once. After unlocking the floating Tetris barrier, the temple has rolled out the red carpet for us, and we head to the main bit. The main bit features a card design on the floor, and we get stoned immediately. I miss with my lance, hitting the 1 HP of the goblin instead. We check the side passages to find strange doors, 1 for each element. The wood and earth doors open for us. What kind of test have we passed? A stack of D-pads asks us if we want to travel to the Land of Trees. This ends the temple stage prematurely, opening a new area called Hupon Jen, the ultimate level for the wood element. There are 4 such endgame levels, each based entirely on 1 element, each containing the ultimate card for each element as a reward. Unfortunately, to open them, you must replay that temple 4 times. And do not fight the boss, as doing so will complete the level and thereby lock you out of it until you finish the game. This means the temple must be played through a total of 5 times. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Maybe that's why the monsters are quite forgiving in there. We're at the endgame now, so let's explore all 4 elemental final challenges before taking on the finale. To Hupon Jen, then. I don't know how this mythic forest managed to stay hidden from the kingdoms of Arguil, but who are we to question, eh? As the ultimate woodland area, the only element we'll come across is green, so we build an absolute fire deck. We come in search of the White Tiger. Hupon Jen is a level with loads of rooms and multiple doors to each, but the progression is entirely linear. Forced battles and specific doors that open after each clash. These battles aren't easy, but there's nothing like a buffed Chimera Pounce to clear them out. Oh man, Evil Eye, Ghost Lance and a Treant to buff their defense? That's horrible. We get through it by just summoning bloody everything. I realise at this point that despite being lower damage on paper, the Whipworm's DPS is better than the Juggernaut, and its range, making it the best monster from the Spin-Around Katia trio. I withdraw my Tiger Mage here, so the Ghost Armor comes after me, and activates my Trap card. Listen, Green Knight mate, you can be a bit blockheaded sometimes. Because it's scripted which doors open, and which path to take, you're delivered back to the deck point, and a central clearing repeatedly. I don't know why, but it makes the level feel quite oppressive to me, like walking down a long tunnel and not knowing how much further to the exit. I don't know why Tiger Mage just decides she's having a day off sometimes. Eventually, we're coughed out at an unassuming totem-looking thing. We're treated to a unique Katia animation, and back across the level we go, with all the doors now open, and I think the encounter's now turned off, allowing us to loot, and much to my chagrin, miss a couple of red fairies. White Tiger is a fucking tough boss. Look at how fast and how far that charge happens. There's not much you can do about that, but have the iframes ready to go, or Independence to take the heat for you. I'm carrying wood cards now because I've picked them up along the way. You can use cards you find on the same level, if you've forgotten. Iframing that lunge with cockatrice looked pretty cool. I guess all new cards you've picked up on that level get put to the front of your deck, as it took me a while to get to my fire cards. This is very much a battle of attrition. The White Tiger smothers you though, forcing you to constantly use cards to try and escape his wrath. His aggression is his undoing though. He explodes some toxic mushrooms, which kill him. Bit of an anticlimax, that. You win the White Tiger no matter what. What is this, an energy drink? He's a summon. A straight-up smash attack. Like I said before, we have to run through Ruh-Arok Temple again to open the final water level. Fuck out of here, Chaos Knight. You must whip it. Whip it good. We build the Quake deck. Earth to fight water. The only element we'll find in Terjon Temple. Terjon? 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 Playing this as a kid, reaching the end of games was still a novel thing for me, so unlocking Terjon and seeing it for the first time was the coolest thing ever. Man, they should have done an underwater level. All good games have underwater levels. A nice dragon mural, always a classic. The deal here is explore the level and find the 4 switches to open this door. Each switch is in a cross pattern away from the center where we start. The catch is, there's only one direction with the way opened, and we don't know which it is. We choose wrong, and find ourselves at a dead end. Necrobomb. Backtrack. Crisscross. Backstroke. You know, swimming, 'cause water. Wrong way again. And 3 Dragon Knights for our trouble? No, I'd win. Double Lance kill. Line 'em up. Having elemental buff cards is a good shout in these levels because you know you'll always have the card combo for them. I finally feel like my Sphinx card is worth it against these menacing ice golems. We've reached the first switch, on this Cyclops Smile island. a crab for a rose, or two. Taking the next path, we can see a greenish float or block has appeared to bridge the gap. This Dragon Knight backswings me, then hits my crab, very nonchalantly. Also curses it with some kind of status, rendering him useless to help me. All on 1 HP. He gets one hit on my steel skelly too. Utter mogging is going on here. Economical movement is paramount here. You don't want to fight through too many of these encounters, but it's hard if you don't know where the path is. The game got a lot of flack when it came out for its random encounters, which is something I never understood. I suppose in 2002, random battles were considered passé, like the gaming world should have been moving on by then. It hadn't really. I mean, FF10 was only a year prior. JRPGs continued to have random encounters, and still do, I think. Wait, what games in the past 5 years have had random encounters? The ice golems get too much for me, so we turn tail and run for once. You spend a card to do so. I'm not bothered about losing the Hydra. In fact, I wish I didn't have any on me. That card is arse. I'm more and more convinced that Kotoblipas is utterly top tier. It better help with this fight by the last switch. 2 roses, 2 ice golems. That's brutal. Somehow my lich misses, but Kato helps me out. I summoned the vampire bush, thinking it would restore health to me, but it still drains you, even if it's your card. With the last switch done, we can return to the middle and bust through the door for an audience with the blue dragon. As a kid, I thought this was so cool. Oh my god, the blue dragon! This is sick, give me the power. That's exactly what it sounded like as a kid, apparently. We have to fight this fat squid to win his support. Kato's out of range. Maybe the Hydra can wear him down a bit. Kato, you've served me well. If there's anything I've noticed about this boss, he doesn't drop many crystals. We're starving for MP here. Or is it because I wasted 11 crystals to spawn this damn Hydra, which I notice hasn't affected the squid at all? Zombie Dragon hits home for big damage. The tentacle lashes out fast, forcing me to spend my last MP for a heal. While Squiddles is distracted by my Hydra, I lost HP to get my steel skelly out for the killing blow. Our prize is the blue dragon himself. The ultimate healing spell. He restores all your health and all your cards. Essentially, he doubles your entire deck. A third run through the temple opens another one. The Temple of Amentankh. I think FromSoft just decided they wanted an ancient Egypt level. Glory to Kemet. Kemet? Kumath? The walls have Anubis? There's straight up Anubis here. Sorry, I mean...
Yanapo.
One of the paintings holds the exact runestone we're wearing. If we've been sent to an underground ruin that's otherwise inaccessible to the people of Arguil, that kind of makes sense. But the runestone means Katia is a direct descendant of... Egyptians? Or a culture that looks very much like ancient Egypt from the real world. The lore implications boggle the mind. Maybe that solves the mystery of how the pyramids were built in Egypt, using magical cards. No, wait. Ancient Egyptians? This is Yu-Gi-Oh shit. Oh my god. No fucking way. Did FromSoft intend that? Is this one big Yu-Gi-Oh reference? I can't. I actually cannot. I am unable to can. I'm content. Anyway, the level is dog shit. Totally uninteresting. There's a room of the Pharaoh. And guess what card is inside? A mummy. Great. Not like a super powerful mummy even. Not Anubis, god of death. We fight the Great Turtle back at the beginning. We're sporting the Weed deck, all plant types. 2 Sphinxes would be a problem if I couldn't just delete them with Fenrir. The turtle is a cool enough concept, a walking volcano, but that artillery is easy enough to avoid. Just walk around it. Skelly and my dog make quick work of him. We win the turtle and move on. There's a problem, however. We can't unlock the ultimate fire area. When we stand before the door, we're told that we're not powerful enough in this element. The reason is, you need 20 cards of an element to open each gate. Somehow in my playthrough, I didn't manage to collect 20 fire cards for my total collection. It checks out, I suppose. I didn't always buy everything Gerd had on sale, so I know I missed the Berserker card. Also, being so unlucky with boss drops means I didn't get guys on my team, like the Red Dragon. How to get more fire cards? We can only play 1 level now, this bloody temple. Gerd's not selling any new fire cards either. We could repeat the beginning of this blasted, sodding temple to level up cards in the hope we can transform them into fire cards. But I decide against that. What I did was come back after beating the game and did the fire level afterwards, but I'll show you the fire level first. We're off to Yalwog, the land of fire. With our all-water, moisto deck in hand. Well, this place is pleasant on the eyes, isn't it? I've never seen such a hellish area look so foggy. An audience with the Phoenix. It seems some water is here, in the land of fire. Oh, not water. Let's track down the source. Is it really FromSoft if you don't have to fight your way out, blind, from against a wall? It's the Red Dragon! My water buff hand does work here, making the dragon take big damage from my squiddles. I typically have a good sense of direction in video games. I don't get lost easily. This stage pushes that to the limit, however. Probably because the map doesn't have an indicator of where north is. The minimap spins with the camera, and you can confuse yourself if you spin the camera during a battle. Walks into swinging enemies. Summons a Sasquatch. No explanation. Leaves. We found the murky water. Walking in it slows you down. It's bloody horrible. Especially when you have to fight Ifrits. Oh, thanks for dodging back into my lance, bud. My Lord From, why do you give me your toughest battles? A wizard buffing the enemy and 2 Ifrits on the field? The field that's made of slow water. Damn. I spawned my black dragon, which I got in the endgame. It's one of the most powerful independent monsters. The only problem is, they balance this by making you share the damage together. He gets hit, you get hit too. We lance and drag our way to victory, using the long iframes of the lance attack to evade the homing fireball. We spam all our new fire cards into the deck at the deck point, but maybe we should have left them out. The Demon Fox boss has apparently caused all this murky water to appear. I don't know how. With such slow movement in the muck, this homing fire attack is a real problem. I'm out of MP already. Blame the Black Dragon for that. Hopefully Tiger Mage will help deal with my spending habits. I play Hydra because I still haven't realised that it doesn't work on bosses. Fortunately, Steel Skelly and Tiger Mage wombo the crap out of the Fox. We end up defeating it without using a water card. The rock in the Fox's room breaks open, giving us a shortcut back to the Phoenix, and after taking further damage from a random encounter, my hopes for a 5-star rating are not great. Yeah, 3. I got wrecked. We receive the Golden Phoenix, a card which acts as a stand-in, taking any damage that's meant for us, or our allies. With that, it's time to finally beat the Ruh-Arok Temple, and for the princess to meet her destiny. OMG, a girl? Roast me alive? Man, you can't be threatening with the word roast. Black Dragon Boss plus 2 Steel Skellies. I open by placing Mega Mandragora as a bomb and summoning Chimera. The plant bomb goes off first and wipes out both minions. A cool 60 points of damage on the boss too. Tiger Mage MVP. Wizard to buff attack. We decimated that dragon using only projectiles. Is this a god? Shades of the unknowable eldritch, but a more benevolent form. Deus in Machina. The god of creation is itself a card? I wish you could get this card in the game, but unfortunately you can't. The god of creation's brother has been woken up. Interesting. She sends us across the divide. It's time to meet the Enchanter. Dún an Droich. Broch Black. In the other continent, there is but one destination. The Dark Castle of the Enchanter. Another endgame from area that is otherworldly in its aesthetics. In fact, it does remind me of the dark reality of Kingsfield 4. The final stage. Every enemy is element neutral. Indeed, every enemy is a boss. Enchanter's greatest hits. First up is Beelzebub and the Puppet Master. I wondered if they were the same, but no, these encounters have about half the MP of their boss variants. We're building some hype here. The music is the same one from the intro cinematic. It really feels like marching to a final showdown. One thing I remember from childhood though is Broch Black doesn't fuck around. This is a tough level that aims to drain you of your precious cards. A simple teleporter sequence wins us the Stone of Darkness, so yeah, always good to carry one of them around. I don't appreciate being made to fight B-Satan again, and so far we've still evaded his acid cloud attack. The endgame rewards aren't really a thing, and there's nothing for us to care about in chests anymore, but we'll still pick them up. We're forced against this Puppet Master duo, anyway. Is this bull demon door satanic? I don't really know. There's a lot of body horror to this area, but no horror is as scary as a teleporter maze. Oh no. We've reached a point where we have to choose a warp eyeball, and the more time we spend in the maze, the more encounters and B-Satans we'll have to face, draining our patience and our deck. I fall for the trap of chasing a blue fairy, and while my Fitbit appreciates the extra steps, the random encounter system appreciates them too. Man, that one bee slapped me about. Cloud, projectile, everything. The good news is, as far as teleporter mazes go, this one's very easy. There's usually a way to warp back the way you came, and you can chart your course by staring off into the distance. But being the completionist I am, I wanted to find a way to these remote 3 chests. This maroons us. The only way out is to warp back to the chest room and the level's beginning. My Grave Tiger Mage sacrifices herself to take out Geppetto here. That's it for the maze. We press on, ever closer to the seat of the Enchanter. But we can't resist the allure of 2 chests, and must now fight the vampire tag team. Considering the warp, their projectile attack, and Katia's relatively slow speed, this is a scary prospect. Fortunately, I land the zombie dragon, and Skelly Duo beat the fight out of the last vampire. A red fairy informs us we have to clear both rooms before moving on. Oh, Vampire and Beelzebub as a random encounter. The other room is another double Puppet Master battle. Kato Bro and Squid Game. Skeleton to take the other, while I try to give the EXP to the zombie dragon. With the rooms cleared, the ornamental dragon will allow passage. Final deck point before the boss. But my own deck is looking a bit sad. We shove in everything we found in the stage. The Enchanter watched us do it, I suppose, from the other side of this room. Thalnos? Thalnos has no riz. Asked me out once, then chose violence. Bro, are you the incel king? Does that explain all of this? This isn't how to handle rejection, you know. You denied me. Let's play cards. To the death. I'm already lost and I'm the one playing. This is total chaos. Skeletons on both sides, but Kato Bro is still the MVP and lands some early damage. Again, we have to wait out his summons every bloody time. He loves to use the vampire. It just one-shot Kato Bro from across the room. Well, that's fair. In the total clusterfuck that is this duel, it's very easy to lose your effectiveness. One way is to lose MP. Attacks that miss, or spawning an independent, means you've spent MP without gaining any crystals to replenish it. My hand is now 2 mole monsters I picked up on this level who don't attack. The White Tiger, which is slow and likely to miss, and as I'm short 8 MP to even cast it, will cost a lot of health. On my X button is the Blue Dragon, which restores all cards, but it's really my last resort. I don't want to use it, and can't discard it because then it'll be gone from this battle. So I now have a wasted X button slot. I go for White Tiger. Too early to hit the boss, but it wipes out his minions and scatters some crystals at least. I use them to play Mind Flayer and restore some cards, hoping the crystals will still be there afterwards. They weren't. Now I've got no MP again and have 2 useless cards. I couldn't get to this crystal because my own skeleton was in the way. In all this desperation, I realise my other mistake. I haven't hit the boss much at all, only his minions. His skeleton and necro summon combos send homing skulls after me. He also has a wizard out to buff his attacks. It's not looking good for us. So that's how it feels to be hit by a Dragon Knight. Damn near cuts me in 2. I need to slug it out. Kato Bro spams laser while I get in with Great Demon's Whip. Enchanter's Vampire and Elephant King summons are perfect for wiping out our guys. This is a devious boss. Out of desperation, I use White Tiger again, and while leveling the field, I take a good chunk of the boss's health. Enchanter uses iframes to invade my Chimera attack. Outrageous. Only the player is allowed to have iframes. Right now we're both using Necromancer to send skulls at each other, but his hit me because the Enchanter can dodge and I can't. Katia doesn't have a dodge. He's at low health, so I start chasing him down with weapon cards, trading blows, trying to wait for him to exit his summon animation, until we're almost out of cards. Oh, the skeleton stoned me. Skulls hit, then Skelly again. Mind Flayer restores 6 to 7 of our cards. Whip hits. And again. Our Cockatrice's 3-hit cloud is active enough to hit Thalnos out of his bullshit. Well, this works. We wait for our moment and do it again. That's quite the EXP list. For a 10-minute battle, I get it. Whoa, what happened to his body? Torn into shreds? Censored for the Nintendo audience? Evil God lifts us straight to the sky for his chosen battleground. Oh boy, here we go. The final boss. He's a god. How can we kill a god? The god of destruction, which is God for short, summons 4 elemental spirits who attack and occupy corners of the circle. He also attacks with a floor-based area of effect that comes out very fast. If all spirits are out, he can explode the center of the arena at will, but you just have to be standing outside it. Sometimes his AoE projectile doesn't come out. Is it slipping through the floor? When it hits hard. I'm not worried though, because I'm sitting with a full heal card in my hand. White Tiger hits home. And we're fucking dead. I was shocked into silence, just sitting staring at the map screen. Freshly humbled, we go back to the drawing board. We remove Wizard from the deck. Mind Flayer out, White Tiger out. The damage is nice, but he's too costly, too unwieldy. You know, I'll just display the full list of substitutions at half-time. It's time for the Broch Black run back. I realised too late that Chimera's damage is too weak for the endgame. We get the stone again. We run from fights too. I don't want to get held up. Soon enough, we've done the teleporter maze again and fought the mandatory tag teams before the Enchanter's throne room. The Great Turtle comes out. He has a massive health pool and wipes out the vampires. They don't know what to do under such a barrage. Round 2 with Thalnos. I have the blue dragon wasting a slot again. That's super unlucky. He's not impressed with my whipworm and wrecks it immediately. It's important to mix some low MP cards into your deck, otherwise you'll be bankrupt all the time with no way to dig your way out. I hoped the turtle would suppress the whole battle with his artillery, but everyone's just moved away. Kato bro, no! Banshee does a great job of hitting everyone. Call that an overhead? This is an overhead. Both human bosses are open after their dodge if you can time an attack quickly enough. Banshee is underrated. I'm chasing him down a lot more with attack cards this time. The last fight took too long. I can't believe I've run out of cards so quickly though. It's finally time to summon the blue dragon. Full heal, all cards. A Hail Mary. Throwing out a Chaos Knight's lance attack. I was playing 5D chess. I knew he was about to do an overhead, then dodge, backwards, at exactly that angle. I knew it, I swear. Round 2 versus the God of Destruction. With the only unique boss music in the whole game. I almost get cooked. When the boss has the circles around him, he's invincible. Only the second hit of Squid Game got him. The one thing you have to focus on is this projectile he throws at the floor. If you can avoid that and camp near the outer edge, you're golden. Turtle time! No, I'm an idiot. I spawned him in the firing line of the huge explosion and lose him immediately, as well as my MP. I trade health to bring my whipworm out and beat some crystals out of them before taking a big hit. I delay my skeleton throw to stop him getting hit and try to aim it outside the center. He beats on the boss. Banshee shot. Wait for it. Banshee again. Who would have thought the humble, straightforward projectile of the Banshee would be the last move that wins us the whole game? Our first present, gifted to us by Alexander in the fairy house. Defeated. by a lowly mortal. I shall become a card. Let's see. 5 stars, baby! The final level, even with an endgame deck, is a real challenge to get 5 stars in my humble opinion. As a kid, I remember my first completion was 1 star. We get the God of Destruction card. I'll show you in due course what it does. All 5? No, 10 kingdoms are now united under Katia. She's not a queen, man. That's an empress. Let's have a look at this pre-render then. Yo, what's with that new dump truck? She played the BBL card. No credits yet. This is the Lost Kingdoms experience, after all. It's a very short game. Tragically short. So let's look into the post-game. Once you've cleared the game, all the levels open back up again, allowing you to grab stuff you missed, hunt down and complete your card collection, or repeat the levels again to win a 5-star rating on every stage. You can also finish the Collectathon by finding the last of the 100 red fairies. This drove me nuts. God of Destruction is not an amazing card. He's a summon that reduces the health of everyone on the field to 1, including you. So it all becomes a sudden death match. Unfortunately, that means the God of Destruction doesn't destroy anything. In the Castle of Whyt, I finally explore the end of the level and bust into the hidden passage. Gerd's shop is now unlocked, showing her full inventory for the whole game. We buy all of her stock that we're missing and head off to try and get some better ratings. Helena shamed me before, robbing me of my precious 5 stars. I want my revenge now. We bullied her with an endgame deck and got the precious rating. Now for the bridge level. Should be easy enough with this powerhouse deck. We book it across, only do 2 battles, don't get hit, and only spend 1 card. 3 stars? What? So, it seems even with little resources spent, you still need to have killed a satisfactory number of enemies. So I ran back across the bridge for the 4th time in this video, made sure to do a lot more fights, and tried to conserve my cards, discarding them rather than depleting their power. And finally, getting that balance between how many fights and trying to take as little damage as possible is quite hard. Yprek Mines I had to try 5 times over. The 4 elemental levels were really tough to get 5 stars in, especially Yalwog, the fire stage. That level battered me. Though I did manage to capture the red dragon with a purpose-built capture deck. The fairy hunt I used a guide for. I'd missed one of the earliest possible fairies. And the 100th fairy for me was found, unbelievably, in Ruh-Arok Temple. I had to do the temple again to find the thing. It's down in this pit. I was running towards the pit at the wrong angle before, but anyway, the 100 card reward is the final card in my collection. Katia herself? No. This is the doppelganger. Nowhere near as cool. Katia's double walks around the field aimlessly until she happens upon another entity, be it you, your monster, or the enemy. Once she comes into contact with something, she kills it. Or she kills you, before disappearing back into hell, I guess. Why didn't this card game appeal to card nerds? Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering types? Is it because you have to play it like an action game? I can imagine that turns off a lot of nerds, Or maybe it was just too small and unknown. Maybe the game could have made card choices more important and strategic, with enemies or levels that destroy you if your deck building isn't good enough. You can coast through the game as is, with skilled gameplay, I think. The reviews didn't help, because while people may have soured on games journos these days, I want to point out that they have always been shit. The kind of criticism games like this got were, where's the voice acting? They wanted everything to be Final Fantasy. That really seems like it's all the game journo cabal wanted. IGN said the game wasn't inventive. I mean, come on. I may elaborate on this whole thing in the future. Enough ranting. Do you want to give Lost Kingdoms a try? You're obviously not bothered about gameplay spoilers if you got this far. If you're a fan, please let me know if I've done the game justice. There really is nothing like it. Except Lost Kingdoms 2, of course. The combination of an action RPG with a card system that gives you all your moves is a mix I haven't seen anywhere else. The game's ambition is only sullied by the lack of length and content, but I hope you'll agree that such a franchise has so much potential, and I'm not the only person who wishes that FromSoftware would give it another look, instead of discarding the franchise. I hope you enjoyed my approach here, to show a game experience in its totality rather than with my usual challenge run. Please subscribe, but definitely comment to help me with the engagement. If you want to go further and support what I do, check the coffee link in the description. And thank you. It's worth mentioning that this game also had a multiplayer versus mode. You could save your deck onto a memory card and take it round to your friend's place and then battle out with the monsters you'd found. This is another example of how FromSoftware was always trying to push the boundaries of how you could interact in a PvP manner with their games. Shadow Tower is another example, and the strange invasion multiplayer that we've come to know and love in Souls and Elden Ring is another example. I gave this multiplayer versus mode a quick try. Dueled my girlfriend. We both had full access to my endgame deck, and I have to say that I lost quite a bit. It's not easy. You have to really rethink everything, especially MP use. There's specific stages from the different levels, and the multiplayer is... yeah, it's a side thing, but it was more fleshed out than I thought it would be. I'd love to explore the idea of somehow getting it working online so we could have a tournament or something like that. As for my next video, well, I do have a challenge run for Lost Kingdoms in mind, among many other ideas. I have so many ideas, and I promise we'll meet again, sometime soon.